Dear friends, I am Father Mandra and I warmly welcome you to Bodhini, the Neural Chapel, also known as BNC, a sacred space where Jesus' profound teachings meet neuroscience and meditation. We are currently in a marathon study of meditation as revealed by Jesus himself, not as ritual, not as mere recitation, but as a profound inner technology of transformation. Today, we begin the second phase of that journey. In the first phase, we explored what prayer is not. Jesus revealed this through the figure of the Pharisee, a symbol of spiritual performance and a mirror of many religious postures today. He is not just a character from a parable. He represents neural misalignment, a prayerful form that is loud, proud, and disconnected from presence. But the parable does not end there. Jesus immediately introduces another figure, the tax collector, not merely to contrast the Pharisee, but to embody the essence of true prayer. This man, silent, honest in word, is not just a person. He is, in truth, the real meditation teacher in the Bible. Let's listen again to what the text says. But the tax collector, standing far off, would not even lift up his eyes to heaven, but was beating his chest and saying, "God, be merciful to me, a sinner." I tell you, this man went down to his home justified before God. When Jesus says, this man went home justified, he is not merely referring to forgiveness, but to a deep internal transformation. Spiritually, to be justified means to be made right, aligned with divine will. It is a return to the truth, not performance, not perfection, but authentic alignment. In today's language, this is neural alignment. From a scientific perspective, this transformation can be seen through the lens of neural integration. When meditation or contemplative prayer is practiced with sincerity and presence, the default mode network, DMN, responsible for self-referential chatter, begins to quiet. The prefrontal cortex, linked with the self-awareness and regulation, becomes more active. The limbic system, the seat of emotional reactivity, finds balance. The tax collector returns home with a brain and heart in sync, a nervous system that has shifted from performance to presence. This is outcome of true prayer. That is neural alignment and inner reconciliation. A state where mental noise ceases, confusion clears, presence returns. Dear friends, the text reveals 4 movements from the tax collector, not religious gestures, but neuro-spiritual steps in a meditative process. Before we explore each one in depth in the upcoming sessions, today's teaching offers a clear overview of these four sacred actions. They form the core pillars of Jesus' contemplative teaching, not abstractly, but embodied, practiced, and scientifically grounded. The first, stood far off, means sacred distance. The tax collector stood far off. This is not about isolation. It is about creating sacred distance. He does not push to the front or perform. He withdraws into inner silence, cognitively distancing himself from pride, comparison, and performance. This is the first movement of meditation, to step away from the ego's noise, to reclaim sacred space where real awareness begins. This withdrawal activates the prefrontal cortex and reduces limbic activity, lowering emotional reactivity and egoic noise. In our world of constant stimulation, this simple act of stepping back into solitude, silence, or stillness is a practice of profound wisdom. Second, did not lift his eyes, means gaze turned inward. He did not lift his eyes to heaven. This does not signify shame. It indicates an inward gaze. This is the second step of meditation, turning the gaze inward. He is no longer trying to be seen. He is trying to see within. Lowering the eyes reduces visual input, directing energy toward interoception, that is, awareness of inner sensations and emotional states. This helps shift brain waves from beta, active thinking, to alpha and theta, meditative awareness. His posture is not passive. It is deeply neural. Dear friends, in a world that trains us to be outward facing, healing begins when we turn inward. Third, beat his chest, embodied prayer. Then comes a striking act. He beat his chest. This is more than emotion. It is embodied honesty. He blames no one. He justifies nothing. He lets his body speak his truth. This is embodied prayer. He connects to his own heart, breath, and body, engaging neuro-embodied presence. The chest contains branches of the vagus nerve, which activates the parasympathetic nervous system, a rest and repair mode. Gentle chest tapping or placing a hand over the heart can reduce stress, slow the heart rate, enhance emotional processing. Prayer is not meant to be neck up. The tax collector teaches us, bring the whole body, especially the heart, into prayer. And the fourth, spoke few words, means entered deep silence. Finally, he says only, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. No long speeches, no justifications, just honesty, humility, and then silence. This is the final movement. Simplicity, sincerity, stillness. Long prayers often activate analytical thinking, keeping the brain in left hemisphere language centers. But short, heartfelt praises concentrate energy in the prefrontal cortex, the area of surrender and spiritual insight. Fewer words mean less stimulation. Fewer words mean less stimulation and more access to theta waves associated with creativity, contemplation, and inner wisdom. This simplicity also resonates in the limbic system, where emotion and deep longing reside. Fewer words, deeper silence. Not emptiness, alignment. Dear friends, in a culture of endless talk, a few sincere words followed by silence can transform more than hours of conversation. Let's remember, the tax collector is a meditation teacher in disguise. What does this hidden teacher show us? He stood far off, withdrawing from noise and ego. He did not lift his eyes, turning inward in stillness. He beat his chest, integrating body and consciousness. He spoke few words, allowing depth to emerge through simplicity. And the result? He went home justified. That is, spiritually aligned and neurobiologically balanced. This is not theology alone. This is contemplative science. Jesus is not just saving a person. He is revealing a method of transformation. Dear friends, if this spoke to your heart, I invite you to subscribe to Bodhini the Neural Chapel. Comment with your reflections. Share with others hungry for sacred scripture and neuroscience. In our next lesson, part 2 of this teaching on the tax collector, we will go deeper into the neural significance of standing far off. What happens in the brain when we create a spiritual distance from ego and comparison? Why does distance often precede awakening? Until then, stand far off and know that you are already near. Thank you.